Chapter 2. In this chapter, we are going to build the underlay step by step. We're going through the basic config for the Fusion router. Then we will configure the control plane and border from scratch. This will give us full connectivity across the entire network. Then we can start layer 3 connectivity testing. And of course, we need to provide connectivity between DNA center and the switch loopback address, between DNA center and Cisco ISE, between Cisco ISE and the switch loopback address, and between the DHCP server and the switch loopback address. Once we reach a point of full connectivity, this means we are ready for building the fabric. Okay, let's start with the first step of building the underlay. Before we start configuring the DNA center or the fabric, or maybe the login to the switches and through the command line start configuring, I'd like to go through the topology, and I would like to split that topology into three main sections. Section 1, we have a connectivity between the Fusion router to the internet as a default route, as we mentioned it before, and then we will have a direct connectivity between the shared service and the Fusion router based on three interfaces. First interface going through the DNA center, second one will go to the fabric wireless WLC, and the third one which is going to the distributed switch inside the ESXi to host the Cisco ISE and the domain controller. Now this is section 1. Section 2 is we have a connectivity between the Fusion router and the border, and the only config that's need to be done on this side is we provide or we configure BGP between the border and the Fusion router, so the shared service which include DNA center and ISE can reach the border loopback address. As we mentioned it before, we need to provide IP connectivity between DNA center and the loopback address for each switch. Now for this point, there are multiple options. You can use a static route, or we can use OSPF or eIGRP. You can use basically any routing protocol. We're going for the BGP for the simplicity, so we can configure two routing protocol. As we mentioned, it's going to be BGP between Fusion router and the border, and then the third section which is going to be ISIS between border and the edge. Now what we are going to do, the third section is going to be automated 100% by the DNA center. So I would say this section we will not do anything manual, so we will delete it from the diagram. Then we can concentrate on the configuration for the Fusion router and the configuration on the border, the minimum configuration on the border. And for that, let's get started.